Good morning, guys. Today is the beginning, or right now is the beginning of our last lesson of the year for seventh grade math, pre-algebra. And I know it's been hard because we've been in this quarantine and we haven't been able to see each other. You haven't been able to ask me questions during the lesson. But hopefully this will end off on a nice note. You remember yesterday's lesson, the volume of cylinders and prisms. And so we're going to extend that knowledge to this lesson, and we're going to put another little piece to it to help you know how to find that volume. Remember, volume is finding how many of these cubes, whether they be cubic inches, cubic feet, or huge cubic miles, how many of these cubes can fit into another object. So today we're talking about pyramids and cones. So a pyramid and a cone. And hopefully you can kind of see a difference between the two. A cone has a circular base. The base of the cone is always circular. And then a pyramid has a polygon as its base. In this case, it's a triangle. You can have a quadrilateral, like a rectangle or square as a base, or a pentagon, or an octagon. But if you have a polygon as a base, it's a pyramid. If you have a circle as a base, it is a cone. But they both have the same formula for the volume. And you notice if you have these perfect little cubes trying to fit in here, almost always you're not going to be able to fit a perfect amount of cubes. You're going to get a partial cube, like a decimal number, or a partial cube, like a fraction. So the volume of a pyramid or cube is still your base times your height, but it's a third of it. It's a third of it. So in other words, if you had, for example, a circular cylinder that had the same base as this cone, you could fit three of these. And I know my diagram didn't show it, but you can fit three of these into that cylinder. And if you had a prism of the same base as that pyramid with the same base, you can fit three of these into that. So we're going to look at that little formula, basically reviewing what we did yesterday. It's volume equals the area of the base, that's capital B, times the height, which is the distance between the two bases. In this case, it's from the base to the apex, the top, and then you divide it by 3 or multiply it by a third. Either way is going to work. Okay, so let's look at our first example. The volume of the given triangular prism. Oh, okay. So these are, you're not going to do the ones where you have missing dimensions like we did in the last chapter. So that's going to be nice. But here is a triangular, I'm going to draw as big as I can, triangular pyramid. Okay, and then they give us these dimensions. This is going to be a right angle, and then they give me 2.7. This is 3. This is 2.7, and then the height is 5.4, and we're talking centimeters. So the way to find this out is use that formula. Volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. So first you find the area of the base. So the base is a triangle, and by the way, this is called a triangular pyramid because it has a triangle as its base. If you had a rectangle as a base, you would call it rectangular pyramid. So based on the name, you can know what kind of base you're dealing with a pyramid. Cones always have circles as their bases, so you know you're dealing with the area of a circle when you're dealing with the area of a base of a cone. Okay, but this is a pyramid, so I'm going to do the formula for the pyramid, or excuse me, for triangle, right? It's a triangle. So 1/2 base times height. So the base is 2.7, the height is 3, and then you're going to work that out. Then, well, here's another cool way. Watch what I do here. Sometimes I do this. 1/2, okay, right? And then we have 1/2 base times height, and then the height of the pyramid is that much. So here we go. Okay, let's see where I got all these numbers. So 1/3 of the area of a triangle times the height of that pyramid. Okay, so here's the area of a triangle, which is right here. Okay, what's happening with all these numbers? What's the only operation going on among all those numbers? It's multiplication. That means I can cancel out common factors if I can, and I can multiply in any order. But look, what's 1/3 times 3? What's 1/3 times 3? Or what's a number times its reciprocal? It's going to be 1. So that 3 is gone, and that 1/3 is gone. So really I'm multiplying 1/2 times 2.7 times 5.4. So you could do like half of 5.4, and that happens to actually be 2.7. So I multiplied these two together, and I got 2.7, and I still have a 2.7. So do you see, instead of multiplying all the numbers together, which you could have, you can cancel out common factors. And so we'll do 2.7 times 2.7, 49, 14, 18, 0, 14, 5. Yep, you can see that still. 9, 12, 7, decimal point. 7.2 died. And let me see here. 7.29 cubic centimeters. Cubic centimeters, because we're dealing with volume. Volume always has a cubic unit for its answer. And that's how you figure out the volume of this pyramid in this case. So it's the same as the last problems, except you have to divide by 3 or multiply by 1/3 at the end. And then we'll do one with the cylinders. So this one, let's go with, I'll draw this out. Make sure you can see, yeah. I'll draw this out. That's your circular base. And then you have your, that's really a vertex up there. And then they give us the radius is 1.5. So this is 1.5, that radius, millimeters in this case. And then the height is always perpendicular to the base, but the height is 3.6. Okay, and then they want you to find the volume. So the volume equals 1/3 area of the base times the height. Okay, in this cone, like I said before, the base is, if it's a cone, if it's called a cone, the base is always a circle. So I know I'm trying to find the area of a circle, which the area of a circle you should remember is pi r squared. Okay, so you will have to know those formulas again, but if you're taking notes, you can use them on the quiz, which is coming up on Thursday. So if you watch the video, you have help to know how to do well on that quiz. And if you're not watching the video, I don't know what to say. Watch the video. Okay, so 3.14, and then the radius is 1.5 squared. Okay, so I'm going to put that into this formula. So the base, I'm putting in the area of the base here. That's 3.14 times 1.5 squared. Okay, so that's the formula for the area of a base. And I substituted capital B with all of this, because that's what it is. And then the height is 3.6. 3.6. Another reason why I'm doing it this way is because sometimes you find the area of the base, but you don't work it out further than that. You just, oh, you got the area of the base, and then you're like, I did all the work. No, there's more to be done. So here, looking at the numbers, is there anything you can do? Well, first of all, what's the operation going on? Multiplication, but 1.5 is being raised to the second, so I actually have to deal with that first. I can't just start, I can't, for example, cancel out the 1.5 with the 1/3, because this has to be dealt with first. But look at the 1/3 and the 3.6. Do they have a common factor? Yes, 3. So I'm going to cancel out that, and then I'm going to reduce this by 3, so it becomes 1.2. So now I have 3.14 times 1.5 squared times 1.2, which is, again, Very nice. Okay, so here I'm going to do 1.5 squared. 1.5 times itself. So 25, 7505, 1522. Okay, so 2.25. So now I'm going to do, you could do 3.14 times 2.25 or times 1.2. It doesn't matter which one you go with first. I'll do the, I guess I'll do the harder one first. 3.14 times 2.25. Okay, so more practice with your multiplication of triple digit numbers, and then you'll see it gets a little bit tougher than that even. So 20, 7, 15, 0, 8, 2, 6, 0, 0, 8, 2, 6, 0, 15, 6, 8, 16, 2, 8, 10, 7, 7 with the decimal point there, 7.065. So I multiplied these two together. Now I'm going to do 7.065 times 1.2. 7.065. Excuse me, those allergies are still getting me. Okay, last part of the problem. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 plus 1 is 13. 2 times 0 plus 1 is 1. 2 times 7 is 14. 0 place value holder. 5 times 1. 6 times 1. 0 times 1. 7 times 1. 0, 8, 7, 4, 8. Decimal point, 4 places in. So I get, 8.478. 8.478. And we're talking about cubic millimeters. So that is the volume of this cone in this case. This cone that has a circular base. Now, I know this is a lot of math, but if you show me your work, that's good, guys, especially on the quiz. Like, if you mess up a number here, it's going to mess you up over here as well. But I'm going to give you partial credit and a lot of credit back as long as you're showing me your work. If you're just, I find it very hard to believe you're going to go from the problem to the answer in just 1 or 2 steps, because that's a lot of multiplying to do in your head. So please show me the work. You only have a few of these problems. And today, for your homework, you're going to do a few of these. And then don't forget we have an optional Zoom. And I believe that for you guys, optional Zoom is at 1. So I'll give you that opportunity, at 1 o'clock. But today you're doing numbers 2 through 6 even. And 10 to 16 even. And that's going to be found on pages 371, 372. And don't forget, guys, you have a quiz on Thursday. Wednesday, tomorrow, you're going to have a couple IXLs that are going to review this material. And again, you're just finding the volume of prisms, cylinders, cones, and pyramids. So 4 things you have to find the volume of. You could use any of the notes that you've taken through these videos, but that assumes you've been watching the videos. And then we'll have the quiz on Thursday, and that'll be your last grade of the quarter. So I won't see you on video anymore, so Swivel and I won't be able to record anymore, but we will see you if you can make it at 1 o'clock today on the Zoom call, and that's optional if you have any questions. And then we will be done, and which is kind of sad, but at the same time, I think a relief for some of you. Monday, I'll see some of you, hopefully all of you, as you pick up your stuff from the school. And guys, I do miss you, and I hope to see you guys there. And just finish out with 1 lesson and 1 quiz left, and that's all you're going to have to do. But I hope you take care. Let me know if you have any questions. See ya. Bye.